Yes, I'm permanently in Bullet Club. So, I mean, that was the cool thing is that there was even an article released from the New Japan website talking about my induction into Bullet Club and the Rogue Army. But the thing is, and this is what we're trying to do, right? So, like, when I don't think that people are goal oriented enough in general in wrestling, right? I talked to I think it probably Jessica Troy once, probably a lot of people, but I remember the conversation with Jessica Troy, and I said, "What are you trying to do?" And I think her response was like, "I want to get signed." And I said, "Get signed where?" And she goes, I don't know. And I go, "Well, you need to figure out where, because getting signed in Japan and getting signed by WWE and getting signed by TNA and getting signed by AEW or wherever are all very different. Like it takes different things to achieve that. Like depending on where you're going." And so I think that like, and because especially when like you talk about like, if we said like, who's the most successful Australian wrestler ever? And you could have two people with two different points screaming until they're blue in the face and all that kind of stuff like that, because no one's defining their objectives, right?
Yeah.
So what I always think is you got to work out what it is that you actually want to do. And I went on 4 trips to America from when I went to uni. I've got a bachelor's degree in business. I've got a master's degree in accounting. And every time I would go to uni, you get 3 months off over summer, I would travel. So I would go to America. I went to California, I went to Texas, I went to Philadelphia. And then I did a little bit in Florida, right? So I went around different places. And on the way home, I was in the green card lottery for like every year for like 10 years or whatever. It was like my 3rd year and I won.
Yeah.
So I won a green card, go and live in America permanently, which was my dream I wanted to do. After spending 4 lots of 2 or 3 months there, I didn't want to live there anymore because I don't like America. I don't like living there.
What was it about?
That kind of stuff. Walking from the bus station in Texas to training was a half-an-hour walk, and I would pass roughly 200 or 300 homeless people on the way. I met a homeless toddler. On the bus one time, multiple times, I was accosted by drunk, semi-homeless people who would just abuse the crap out of me for no reason. There was no right answer. There was nothing you can do. This happened on a regular basis. And then you would like it'd just be this horrible thing. And then even now, I still see people who like need GoFundMe's to pay for healthcare. And I'm sitting there going like, okay, what if everybody in the country donated to a GoFundMe, right? And that way, instead of one person having to put in a lot of money, everybody put in a little bit of money into this generic GoFundMe that then everybody used for medical bills, instead of having a GoFundMe for one person and they have to hopefully be famous enough to get enough Twitter likes to do whatever. Everybody donated into one for everybody. That's called Medicare.
Yeah.
That's universal healthcare, but they'll argue with you. Oh no, I shouldn't say everybody. I'm generalizing, but like a lot of people will argue with you until you're blue in the face that universal healthcare is bad. But then one of them gets sick and they need a fucking GoFundMe to pay for the $100,000 bill. Like I can't. Like the place is so backwards in so many ways. And you live in Australia, and I'm like, I live 10 minutes from a beach. It's currently like 33 degrees outside. I spend my Sundays on my nice little thing in my kiddie pool with my 2-year-old son. Like I just went to the dentist today. It doesn't cost anything. Like this is like, why would I want to move? I want to live here. I don't want to go to that place. I like it here. Like
I mean, unless you're earning like a good living over there, then you kind of like, all right, well, you suck it up for the career aspect because you're getting paid shitloads of money to be there. But like, I get where you're coming from.
That's my point. Is I don't want to do that. Like, I'd rather not make as much money. And like I know if you're a millionaire and you live there, you just live in rich places, you get chauffeured around, none of that matters. It's fine, but it's still just I don't know, man. I like Australia, so like the idea was to. And if I'm sorry to American people that don't like that, I have tons of American friends. I promise. Like there's lots of good things there. I know. I visit there for holidays. I like Disney World. But like, what I mean? Actually go and live in the America part of America, like the real thing. And there's just like gun violence, man. Like, am I going to put my 5-year-old like my 2-year-old in a school in a couple of years where the amount of people who get shot? No. So, like, it's just, I don't like it. So, but I love pro wrestling, and I want wrestling to be the living, and I want it to be sustainable, and I want that kind of thing. So the goal is to do it in Australia, right?
Yeah.
And you asked me about Bullet Club, and the reason why I have this long-winded thing is because it's Bad Luck Fale's same goal.
Yeah.
He wants to live in this area and make pro wrestling for him and for his students a viable thing in Australia. And he's done it in Japan and all that kind of stuff so far. So he's trying to use his connections to bring that here. And that's the goal of the Rogue Army. It's to recruit here and get enough people and then make enough noise and do enough stuff and just kick down enough doors that we can get New Japan to come to Australia, and we can get the Australian guys to come to New Japan, and we can get a synergy where we can use that, we can leverage that to create a sustainable pro wrestling industry in Australia.
Yeah.
And so that we don't have to leave. We don't have to travel all the time. We don't have to do all that kind of stuff, and we can stay here and do it. And then when we stay here and do it, and that's the fun. So that's the goal of what we're trying to do, and that's the knocking down the door with the Bullet Club is we have the similar goals because it all comes down to money. I mean, like look at what's Bullet Club's gimmick at the end of the day. They want to make money. That's what they all want. That's what they're all there for.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the thing. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Maybe the boss will tell me something different. But like that's the that's what we're trying to do. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the point of me joining Bullet Club. We're trying to leverage a sustainable pro wrestling industry in Australia. And this is just the beginning of it. That first Tamashi show was so successful. Like the guys went back, they gave stellar reviews to all the office. The footage looked great. The footage just went up today. Everybody go and watch it. It's fantastic. Like of all the guys who are getting opportunities. And the thing is too, is we just did Sydney and we just did New Zealand, right? So there were guys in New Zealand who got opportunities, and there were guys in Sydney who got opportunities. Well, next time maybe they'll go to Melbourne, because it worked well here, and then maybe they'll go to Adelaide, and maybe they'll go to Queensland, maybe they'll go to Newcastle, maybe they'll go to Wollongong, maybe they'll go to Perth, maybe they'll go to, they're going to Wagga Wagga. So if there are any wrestlers in Wagga Wagga, who
is there wrestling in Wagga?
There is now.
There is now, New Japan.
So, that's one of those. That's just one of those things. So they're coming back, and that 4-day thing, the Oceanic Cup, is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be massive. It's going to be really cool, and they're aiming to get thousands of people there. Like it's going to be a big tourist thing. I don't imagine it's too expensive to travel to Wagga Wagga.
Wagga's a cool place. I've been there a couple of times. It is like a country community town. Like literally, they have 2 pubs. Everything's closed on Sunday. like no joke. I've been there, and it was like I went there for work once, and literally like I was there for the weekend, and it was like Sunday. I went, where can I go get something to eat? Like at a pub, and it was like everything's shut.
Everything's shut. You got to get on that. No, but my general point was that for anybody who's outside of Sydney and wasn't in this little controlled sort of deal for the first test kitchen version of a Tamashi, support it, spread it, be positive, and that will help you possibly get a shot if it comes to your hometown. Because if it gets shat on and nobody likes it, they're not going to come back, which means no opportunities for everybody. If it goes well in Sydney, they're going to go, hey, maybe we should try somewhere else. The more successful it is, the more it's going to create more opportunities for everybody so that everybody can have a sustainable wrestling industry. I want a sustainable pro wrestling industry so that Jack Bonza can be a wrestler in Australia. But the byproduct of that is that hundreds of other people will benefit too. That's sort of what we're aiming for, and that's what we're working towards. Hopefully, does my name show up on screen? Yes, Adam Montgomery, it does.
Yes, it